All right, John Wayne. If I was going to introduce somebody to the first John Wayne movie they ever saw, I think I would choose The Cowboys. That one is probably not the movie that shows John Wayne's strengths the most, but it's the movie that is the most relatable to someone who doesn't know John Wayne movies. It's got a great story that most people can identify with and get on board with. A lot of great kid characters that um, that are fun to watch the interactions, and it's fairly believable. This is kind of a sad John Wayne movie. He dies in this movie, but you see kind of that when he dies, it's not really in vain, and it's kind of a good lesson for the other kids about being strong and not backing down for uh, just any old thing. Kind of a synopsis of the story is he's a rancher, and there's been a gold rush in the area, and all his hands have headed out for the gold rush, but he needs to do a cattle drive to take his beef to market so that he can get money to pay the bills. Now, since there's no one else around, he decides that he might try to have the schoolboys in the town work for him to drive those cattle. Now, most people around think he's crazy for even trying that because these are boys, total boys. They're like middle school age, young high school age at the most, and some of them even elementary age. But he feels cornered and that he's got to do something and he can't just wait till the next year to make the trip. So he gathers them up and kind of tries them out, although he ends up taking all of them, I think. I don't think he got rid of any of them. Uh, then, once they all get together, kind of settle the arguments. You know, anytime you get a lot of boys together, there's going to be disagreements and arguments, and there are. And they get all that settled and worked out, and they hire themselves a gentleman who is their cook. You know, he runs the chuck wagon, and that's an important character because he kind of keeps John Wayne in line as they're going on their journey, and keeping John Wayne in line in that keeping him from overreacting to some of the behavior of the boys. So he's kind of like a moderating influence uh, that John Wayne needs to help get him through this. Um, Now there's some bad guys, and back in those days, if you could steal the cattle and sell them somewhere else, well, I mean, that's just like taking gold because they were worth a lot of money, and oftentimes you could sell them to buyers who wouldn't ask a lot of questions. So one of the bad guys, who initially had tried to get hired on by John Wayne, but John had refused him employment because he just seemed like he wasn't any good. John Wayne had asked him a couple questions about the people he had worked for before, and kind of caught him in a lie. So, so the bad guy comes up with some ways, some guys to work with him, and they follow the herd along as they're traveling, and eventually try to take over the herd. Now, another point I should have mentioned earlier is that John Wayne he'd had a couple sons, and something bad happened with them, and John Wayne feels kind of like he didn't do a good job raising his kids, and so um, this cattle drive, working with those kids, was kind of his way of trying to do that again, to raise kids again, and try to get it right. Um, Now, I don't want to give away too much, but the kids kind of go through this phase of course, they hate him because he seems to be a hard ass, but it also draws them together to work as a team that they do. And by the end of it, they all really have a lot of respect for John Wayne and are basically willing to do about anything for him. Uh, it's one of those movies that literally anybody could enjoy. You don't have to love westerns to like this movie. You would almost anybody would like this movie. It's got that kind of general appeal. I don't know why. I don't think it was, it's not really considered one of his biggest hits, but I don't understand why. I think just because, this was filmed in the latter part of his career. It's one of the last few films, and I'm sure American audiences were pretty tired of John Wayne by then. I mean, he'd been going on for decades and decades. And so, although it's a really good movie, and I think he does a great performance in it, I think audiences were just they'd had a lot of John Wayne, and so it didn't. I don't think it had the impact that it would have had he not already made so many great westerns. But if you are interested in getting into westerns, maybe you want to dip your toe into it, or you got somebody you would like to try to turn on to western movies, John Wayne is, of course, the starting point. If you want to see the best of the best, that's where it is. Now, there's lots of other great western movies, of course, and I can name some that are by themselves as standalone better than anything John Wayne did. I would agree with that. But if you look at the totality of the work, the whole portfolio, nobody comes close to John Wayne. I mean, nobody even. I mean, there's nobody even. The next place, the person in second place, whoever that is way in the distance. It's not even close. So if you're wanting to get into westerns, or you have somebody you'd like to try to turn on to westerns, I think the movie to choose is The Cowboys with John Wayne. It's it's a movie anybody could like, and it allows you to get into the Western world in an accessible way, in a relatable way, that you feel like, yes, you could have been part of that world. And two, when you see the interactions of the boys, you'll see that human beings haven't changed much in a couple hundred years. We're still pretty much the same. So that's my take on John Wayne and the Cowboys. I'll I'll try to do some others here soon. See what you think.